All right, everybody, those are the victory drums, and they sound for, the career of Dustin Poirier, I think, is a fitting thing to say, following UFC 318, but they, for the purpose of the show and what the victory drums mean, they sound for Max Holloway, who becomes the first man in UFC history to defend the BMF title. He defeats Dustin Poirier 49-46, 49-46, 48-47 in the main event of UFC 318 in New Orleans. Max Holloway did exactly what he said he was going to do. He was going to play spoiler and hand Dustin Poirier a loss in his final fight. That's exactly what he did, as we put a bow on a very special night in New Orleans here on the UFC 318 post-fight show. I am Mike Heck, back with you. We just wrapped up the watch party, and joining me still, the one and only Mr. No Gray Area, Jed Meshew. And Jed, we are just minutes removed from Dustin Poirier's career coming to an end, and the BMF title fight coming to an end, and Max Holloway getting the job done. Pretty fitting way for not only Dustin Poirier's career to end, just going out in an all-out dogfight, round two, one of the craziest rounds you will ever see. Both guys being badly hurt, both guys nearly finished, and Max Holloway just goes in there and gets the win. And what that means to him just encapsulates the moment, not just for Poirier, but for Max as well.
Yeah. It's not the most exciting way that Poirier's career could have ended. If he hit that Gilly in round two,
God,
would have been ludicrous. But again, this is going to be a fight of the year contender. I don't know if this probably is currently the leader in the clubhouse for fight of the year. Would be my guess. It was very good. I frankly thought it was going to be even more. I thought it would be round two the whole way. Instead, we got round two in a very competitive, very interesting fight. Felt a lot, frankly, like Max versus Gaethje. There's a lot of that to it, where down the stretch, Max just kind of won because Max just kept going, and Poirier started to fade a little bit. But doesn't really matter. It's a hell of a way. Like, if that's how your career ends, there are no good retirements in the sport. That's a round as good as you can hope for, really. Like, you want to go out on a win, but there's just a fundamental difference between, like, Robbie Lawler fighting a Nico Price, who, like, it's not intended, but there is some disrespect to Nico Price there. Like, Nico Price ain't Max Holloway, and so to hope to beat somebody like that for your last ride is a really big one to sort of ask for. But if the way your career ends, it is a little fitting, because Dustin Poirier mostly didn't win the big one. He did win an interim belt. He beat Conor those 2 times, but mostly in his opportunities to really have the legacy defining championship win, he fell short. I think he fought for about 2 or 3 times and came up short every time. That's 3 times, actually, for sure. And so it does feel a little fitting that in this moment, the final one of his career, it was spectacular. It was perhaps the fight of the year, which he has 2 already, and, has another 3 or 4 that could be Hall of Fame worthy inclusions. Maybe this will end up fight of the year. He'll finish his career with 3. That feels like the Dustin Poirier story of great, but not a champion. And that kind of put a little bow on it in a very apropos way.
Yeah, it was those first 2 rounds are just insane. Like, the volume those guys were throwing, the heaters that they were connecting with.
Max came out so hot, so hot.
He really did. I love the body work. He was kicking a lot. I think the turning point in this entire fight was Max kicking him in the left side of the ribs, because Dustin valiantly fought through it, hurt Max, almost got him out of there, almost got the gilly, as you just said. But the rest of the way, you could see him sort of favoring that left side. The welts, the sort of dents on the side of his body were just absolutely nasty. And I don't think Poirier fully recovered from that. But in true Dustin Poirier fashion, dude just bites down on the mouthpiece and just does the best he can, man. He just battled to the end.
Yeah, I wish he'd honestly done a little bit more of that, because when he, in the second round, he basically just had a lot of success when he started to really just all right, screw it, I'll just work through the pain. And I'm sure the pain was substantial. Max just kept hitting him, and that was it. Max never let Poirier really build momentum. And this really is just a testament to how great of a fighter Max Holloway is. He is I have said for quite some time, I think Max Holloway is probably certainly one of the 15 best fighters of all time and could easily convince me he's in that top 10 and still has plenty of his career left. I don't think he's in his best version anymore. But again, I don't think Dustin's his best either. But I don't think either guy is too diminished from their peaks. And Max just wasn't the same dude that Dustin fought the last time, 5, 6 years ago, whatever that was. He had more tools. He brought them to bear more effectively. And he stymied Dustin when Dustin started to have success. Max would shift, he'd adjust, and Dustin couldn't continue to kind of shift his own offense.
I think there are some comments during the watch party that I didn't fully agree with, but something that you said to start the watch party, and we've been kind of both been saying throughout the week. I think one thing was fully clear at the end of this fight. Dustin Poirier is picking the perfect time to call it a career. He's walking away at the right time. And the success that this man had staying in the top 10 in this division is the best in MMA. It's one of the toughest divisions in all of sports. And the fact that Dustin Poirier was not only ranked so highly, but actually fought for the belt 13 months ago is insane. Just absolutely insane, the career this guy had. You mentioned all the accolades with the incredible fights and some of the battles, but now that the smoke is cleared and we sort of run down, and I know we sort of touched on this on BTL, and there'll be lots of Poirier talk throughout the week, so don't worry about that. There's lots of other things that happen here tonight as well. You have a couple of bourbons, you Uber home, you have a pizza, you sit on the couch, you're like, I'm just going to watch fights while I scarf this pizza down before I go to bed. Which Dustin Poirier fight is the first one you're putting on? What's the go-to?
It's a really good question. I think the first Dustin Poirier fight I go to is Max 2. Especially if I'm looking for Dustin winning, right? Like, because you're trying to watch a Dustin fight, you probably want him to win. I think Dustin 2 is one of the 15 or 20 best fights of all time. I think it's probably the best fight that didn't win fight of the year, but like it's a sensational fight. There are big swings in that, technical brilliance. That's probably the one I go to. I mean, the other obvious choice would be Korean Zombie because that fight was just bananas. But I don't even know. That probably is my third. I'd probably go Dustin Gaethje 1 is my second one after Dustin Max. Because that's like that fight was just ludicrous. So either honestly, I probably just go Dustin Gaethje and then Dustin Max, but it's one of those two and then Korean Zombies 3. If I'm doing myself a little DP night, I think that's the lineup.
All great choices. Dan Hooker is definitely on that list
fight
somewhere. I mean, just absolutely
Michael
insane.
Chandler's great fight.
Pretty wild stuff. Michael Chandler was a fun one. Yeah, there's so many good ones. So especially if you're a newer fan and that was the first time you've seen Dustin Poirier fight, do yourself a favor, go back through the archives, wherever you can watch them, Fight Pass, wherever you can get them. Probably go to the UFC's YouTube and watch a bunch of them. Just watch them, man, and just appreciate what this guy did and all the crazy fights that he had. And yeah, what a career this man had. And I can't wait to see him on the broadcast booth doing and on the desk, just breaking down fights. He's incredibly good at that. And whatever he does, we will be watching. Congratulations on a great career. But Max Holloway did win this fight, Jed Meshew.
Sure did.
He went out there and won.
Unquestionably.
Looks great at 155. I see a lot of people on social media. I see a lot of people in our Slack channel saying, just screw it. Let's just run back the Ilya to Porier fight. I think that is one of the most insane takes of all time right now. It is just truly one of the most insane takes. Ilya already throttled him, finished him, and then just nuked Charles Oliveira. I think you and I are on the same page with this. We've been on the same page with this since we saw Max Holloway beat Justin Gaethje. That was the fight we wanted, and now we get the fight we deserve. Saskatoon, Canada didn't get it. The fans watching on TV that night didn't fully get it. It is time to fully get Max Holloway versus Charles Oliveira the way it was supposed to be, and this time we put the damn BMF title on the line.
That's it. I said it heading into this. Win or lose, Max fights Charles. BMF belt can be on the line. That's fine. Max will probably win that fight, but maybe he doesn't. We never know. That fight is incredible. It's sort of the missing piece. I know that they did fight once before, but as you sort of alluded to, nobody felt like we really got what we were supposed to there. Of that, like, this crop of violent action dudes, the Max Holloway, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, Charles Oliveira, these guys who are legitimately, those 4 dudes are, I would say, unquestionably in the 10 most exciting fighters of all time. That includes those 4 people, and they've all fought each other. The one lacking is the Max Charles fight, which just wasn't satisfying. So we can correct that. I know Max probably doesn't want to hear this, and I'm sorry. You're an all-time great, so you can tell me to fuck off. That's fine. I don't care about you fighting for the lightweight belt. It's meaningless. If you ever win the belt, it means Poirier is not in the division, so it's like Volk's featherweight title now. It's like, sure, you have it, but you have a belt, even if we don't agree that, like, we don't think that the BMF belt is super meaningful. Like, I don't need to see you try to fight Ilya again. Like, fight Charles and fight Dan Hooker. Like, those are both also, like, those are the things we should be doing. And if he beats Charles and he beats Dan Hooker and Ilya's still hanging around, okay, fine. If somebody beats Ilya, then Max is right in there. But running Max Ilya too is they just fought. It wasn't especially competitive. It would go worse for Max this time. And I don't know how you would talk yourself into thinking it wouldn't go worse. Like, I thought Max looked sensational tonight. I thought Max also pretty clearly looks like he is no longer in his peak form. Like, he has a little, I'd say he certainly has added some more power at 155, which is good. It's a great tool to have. He got dropped again. That's 3 fights in a row now that Max has been dropped for a man who has one of the all-time great chins. That's concerning. He's slowed down pretty substantially. He picked it back up in the later rounds, but, like, slowed down. I think it is pretty inarguable. Max, we've seen the best Max Holloway will ever see. He may still be productive for a long time because all-time greats can do that. We haven't seen the best Ilya. A worse Ilya against a better Max ended up in Max getting knocked out in 3. A better Ilya against a worse Max is probably the same or worse for him. And it just happened. He needs to win a bunch of lightweight. And fortunately, we don't need to put him in the title fight conversation right now. Like, let's have fun with Max Holloway, because that seems like the best use of him.
Yeah. You want to know why the BMF belt is, like, meaningless in a lot of ways? It's because no one's defended it. No one's put it over. Now we finally have it put over. And we could do Max versus Charles Oliveira. Like, that is just way more compelling to me than Max versus Ilya right now, because I don't think the outcome changes right now. And it's not like the fight happened 2 years ago. The fight happened fucking 7 months ago.
Yeah,
like, this
fight
literally
recent,
just
and
happened.
It was not competitive.
It was not. It was competitive for about 5 minutes, and then Ilya turned it on in round 2, and then killed him in round 3. Like, do more. There's so many guys I want Ilya to fight. Like, I don't need to see any rematches for Ilya Poirier right now.
Riley,
None.
this is an objectively stupid comment. His chin is better at 155. He's less depleted. He's been knocked out once at 145. He's been now dropped twice at 155. Like, it's not better. His chin is just his chin. It's cracked. He has maybe a little bit more power. If you want to watch it, that's fine. But, like, you are selling yourself wolf tickets to believe that fight is competitive. Like, you never know. Anything can happen. But by that logic, I should fight Ilya, because maybe he'll trip and fall and knock himself unconscious. Like, it is not a competitive fight right now. He needs to beat more people to do this. He lost 7 months ago.
Yeah. Arman Sarukian, Justin Gaethje's got a better case, right? I mean, I know Max just knocked out Justin Gaethje, but Gaethje did bounce back with a win. So, I mean, look,
it's Arman Sarukian. If we're being meritocratic,
Arman's the guy.
Patty is what's going to happen.
And Patty's been doing work as well. I mean, look, this division rocks. There is no true wrong way, but Ilya versus Max so quickly is not the way to do it. Max can build up to it. Like you said, win 2 or 3 more, boom, you're right there. And who knows where he is at? He could be a freaking welterweight. He could be a welterweight in a couple of fights, depending on what happens with Islam Makhachev fighting Jack Della Maddalena. So, again, It's Max versus Oliveira. That is 1,000,000% the fight to
That's
make.
so easy to do.
It's a terrific fight. It's a classic BMF fight. It's wonderful. And we didn't get it the first time for real. Now we'll get it for real. And it'll be fantastic. Care to guess what the bonuses are, Jed? Because they are live.
Dude, I mean, what they should do is genuinely give everyone on the card a bonus. That is, I'm going to guess that they did go fight of the night, and they gave fight of the night to the main event.
They did not.
So then they had to give fight of the night to Kevin Holland versus Daniel Rodriguez.
They did not.
Okay, sure. I didn't see it, so I can't totally dismiss it. I guess
this is an insane.
I guess fight of the night went to Marvin Vittori.
Yeah, it did.
I haven't seen it.
It is truly one of the more insane.
I haven't seen it, so I can't totally.
It's a great fight.
I had to miss it. If that fight is better than Kevin Holland, Daniel Rodriguez, I'd be shocked. If it's better than the main event, I'd be pretty surprised. Yeah, okay. I honestly thought they'd give it to the main event if for no other reason than it's Dustin's retirement fight. Let's send him out with a bang or whatever. Okay. Bonuses, Thibaut Gauthier.
Of course.
He absolutely slaughtered a man in 4 seconds. Other bonus, I mean, I'm gonna do it for me, even though it's probably not. Tell me Carly Judy's got me them extra cashes.
Islam Lutov and Carly Judy's.
Oh, let's go, Carly.
3 bonuses.
No beef with that. Like kind of weird that they just gave whoever scored a knockout got a bonus, and some pretty dope submissions were like, screw you.
Of course. That's how it always is.
Good for them.
That's how it always is. Someone asked this earlier, so I might as well just ask you, because it's pertinent because it happened and it was in the co-main event. Is Paulo Costa back, Jed Meshew? Because he beat the hell out of Roman Kopylov tonight. That fight was not competitive past like the 2-minute mark once Paulo started landing those kicks to the body over and over again. Paulo good, calls out Khamzat Chimaev. Is this a guy to be feared now at 185 pounds?
I mean, it depends on who you are. If you're like a lower end top 15 or unranked dude, yeah. Paulo Costa looked great tonight. His best win since Yoel Romero, he's had 1 win since Yoel Romero. It's Luke Rockhold. And while that fight was deeply fun, and I don't think people respect that fight was incredibly fun, and people should give that fight more respect. That version of Rockhold is so diminished, it's not really like a great win. This is a very good win. Roman Kopylov is a top 15 guy, and he looked sensational after a year off. Again, I'd probably not be feared, but what you got to respect about Paulo, he knows business, and he's been setting up the Khamzat fight forever. Had it booked, fell apart. Theoretically, he could have been released from the promotion with a lost night. Instead, delivers an absolutely A+ performance, gets on the mic, talks some shit, and says like, "Hey man, Khamzat, you're fighting for the belt. I'm coming for you." If Khamzat wins, they probably don't throw him in there, but it's not 0% that Paulo gets the first title shot. And if Khamzat loses, he's 100% getting Khamzat next. So he has set himself up for a major fight either next or in the very near future. And this is for a dude that was like a little bit lost. Coming into this, like, dude, we haven't heard from him in a year. He's lost a bunch in a row. He's way too active, like way too online. And now right back in the thick of it at 185. I would not say he's like a genuine title challenger, because 185 has had so much progression over the past like 18, 24 months, but still a big name, and the things break right. He is absolutely 1 win away from fighting for a belt right now, and could get lucky and fight for a belt next.
It's so crazy. We got a legit number 1 contender fight in a competitive division that is signed, sealed, and delivered. And Paulo Costa could very well find himself in a title fight, despite what happens with Caio Borralho and Nasruddin Imavov. If Khamzat Chimaev wins the belt, they will probably go to Costa.
There's a really good chance, man. There's a really good chance.
So good win for Paulo. He looked really good. Kevin Holland, Daniel Rodriguez. Jesus Christ, man. I'm telling you,
That's my favorite fight of the year.
if you miss that fight, look, this is one of those things that is going to be like such a weird take, but if it's one of those things where, of course, for the moment and just to see Dustin Poirier fight for the final time, like obviously go back and watch it. But if you did not buy this pay-per-view and a magic genie floated in your house and it said, hey, pick one fight to watch from tonight that you didn't get to watch on pay-per-view, and then I'll give you the rest of the pay-per-view for free in a month, which fight are you picking? It is absolutely Kevin Holland versus Daniel Rodriguez. It's so insane. Like I can't do it justice if you didn't watch it. We were laughing hysterically at this fight because of just the absolute insanity of it. It's wild. And I think you nailed it when you said it's a different sort of version, but very similar to the Glover Teixeira Yuri Prochazka fight.
It is the store brand version of Glover Yuri. 3 rounds instead of 5. It's the same damn fight. And again, Glover Yuri honestly might actually be the best fight that's ever happened in the sport. And I would say it is, to me, unquestionably top 5. That fight was so silly. And I had the most, I think like if we're not being silly gooses and we're trying to be like real people, you're probably supposed to put the main event above Holland Rodriguez as far as fight of the year goes, because it's just a much higher level of technical sophistication. The second round was insane. General momentum swings, a lot of story unfolding. Is a terrific fight in sort of those traditional senses. I have not had more fun than I've had watching Kevin Holland and Danny Rodriguez fight this year. Like this is easily the most fun I've had watching a fist fight this year. It was just a total calamity in the rounds 2 and 3. I still don't understand how neither man finished the fight when your opponents were like clearly just dead. Like Kevin Holland was mounted and had nothing. And Danny Rodriguez, I think you said it in real time, was like, this is Ralphie in A Christmas Story. Just doing these punches to him, and Kevin Holland like can't do any, but then somehow scrambles. And then at one point, Kevin Holland just tags D-Rod, and D-Rod covers up and leans against it, like turns away, which is a universal sign of, oh, there's about to be 2 more punches and the fight's over. And then he just goes, never mind, and turns back. Like he literally just went, I'm done. Yeah, I guess I'm not.
Oh my God.
It was so silly and so fun. And I can't really, I'm going to watch the fight 30 times this year.
Oh my God. It's so incredible. What a fight.
It was great.
Ralphie.
Like you said it during the watch party. I was like, it's exactly what's happening here. It's just, it's so great.
What a fucking fight. It was unbelievable. And it was kind of the pick me up that the card, I guess at that time, because the prelims slapped.
The prelims were unbelievable. And then the 2 opening main card fights weren't bad.
Like they weren't awful fights.
They were perfect. They were rock solid fights, but I certainly had really big expectations of both of them, and they did not quite live up to that. And so, we were a little down because energy was so high. Zellhuber and Michael Johnson not getting a finish, which I think everybody thought that fight was going to be finished, and we didn't get it. And then Ige Pitbull was, I would say, the biggest letdown on the card was Ige Pitbull.
I agree.
Great performance from Pitbull, and we'll talk about that, but that fight left a lot to be desired as far as our expectations going into it.
Yeah. I mean, what else can you say? Pitbull won.
Yeah, he needed
might have saved his position in the company.
It was an absolutely critical win for him to get, and hard fought, but he really made Danny get uncomfortable at various points. I mean, again, this is another guy who is a great fighter, well past his prime, but I mean, that's just a veteran, awesome performance from him.
I'm surprised to hear you say that was the biggest letdown, because as watch party people know, and
I was sad,
longtime fans know, the climb is no more.
We fell.
Daniel Zellhuber loses to Michael Johnson.
We slid down the mountain, boys.
And then you tried to climb again with Kevin.
Yeah, that's fine though. That was whatever.
But that was okay to lose it with that. But
yeah, okay.
Michael Johnson, 3 wins in a row now. Daniel Zellhuber has now lost 2 straight, and the climb is over.
The climb is over. I am astonished. I felt so good about it. Credit to Michael Johnson. I mean, he's put together a really nice little late career resurgence for a dude who's 39 years old. Some of that, frankly, is probably that, like, we talked about this a bit on the watch party. Michael Johnson's had a hell of a resume, just the names he has fought. This run, those names are still decent, but certainly a step down from his run of like fighting Dustin into Habib, into Beneil Dariush and shit like that. So he's having a little more success, but he looked super sharp, came out aggressive. Zellhuber is apparently quite stupid. I don't say that to be mean. I say that as a fact because despite his coaches literally telling him you are losing, he then was shocked that he did not win when he may have, I guess he won the third round on the judges' scorecards, but like wasn't even clearly winning that round and then was like, what? I was defeated. Can't be. Well, your coach literally told you in the corner you need to finish this dude, and you just went out and sort of tepidly kicked him a bunch. Very disappointing performance from Zellhuber. Tough scenes for the climb, but it's an opportunity for us to start again, Mike.
Yes, and looking forward to see what the next climb bet will be. But obviously, some great prelim action as well. We mentioned the bonus winners. Stefan, it was an emotional roller coaster, is what this card was. It had ups, it had downs, it had happiness, it had sadness, it had a little bit of everything, and it had one of the wildest fights you will see in 2025. So
dude, it was great. Like, look at how this card started with Carla Judice, Nicole Cagliari. That fight could have easily been fight of the night on like most other cards. Carla Judice is just I was like, she is meaner than a stepped on rattlesnake because she's going to be awesome forever. She's going to be in our lives for 10 years. She probably won't ever win a belt. I don't know. Maybe she does. Flyweight is questionable, but there will be a time in the not too distant future when she fights Dakota Ditcheva and it's just the two meanest sons of bitches you've ever seen just taking strips out of each other. And it's going to rock. So that set the tone. Bruno Fajeda, super wily, cool ass armbar. Ryan Spann, he gets the gilly.
Yeah, he needed that bad.
And that's his signature move. I know Dustin would like it to be, but Jimmy Crute, quick armbar.
First win in 5 years.
Dulatov gets a bonus for knocking out Adam Fugit. Pretty spectacular. Like we went from opening fight, super banger, and a great finish, body shot finish. We love those, to 5 consecutive first round stoppages. Couple of them super mean. I didn't see Veretinikov Prado. I hear it was quite a fun fight though. And then Brendan Allen, Marvin Vittori, apparently your fight of the night. Certainly was a fun fight.
Insane. And
Loke Dog Kyler Phillips was also a pretty damn good banger. So like the prelims were hot. Dropped a little bit. Kevin Holland, D-Rod brought us back up. Paulo Costa, a great performance. Main event was class.
What a day if you're an MMA fan. We might have gotten a fight of the year and submission of the year all on the same day. Sure Costello Von Steenis.
There's no chance that's not going to be sub of the year.
Pretty much start writing that article right now unless something insane happens.
I can't honestly, there's just not going to be. The circumstances are so unreal.
What if Hamzat mauls DDP and then DDP taps Hamzat in like round 4?
I mean, maybe, but even then, like the circumstance of the Von Steen, I've seen the clip of it. I haven't watched the whole fight, but he was down on the judges' scorecards, appeared to be down with 50 seconds left. Eblin had his back. He somehow hits a reverse, gets the back, puts in a choke, and puts Eblin to sleep with 10 seconds left on the clock. That sort of like buzzer beater comeback is so impossible to beat, especially when he's a massive underdog too. Like,
yep.
That's class.
Crazy stuff. What a day it was. Let's go to the super chatters. We'll go to the peeps for probably like 10 or 15 minutes.
Jake,
we've been talking for
like a monster, Jake.
Spencer says climbing turn to falling.
I sure did.
Diamond is in the UFC no more. God surely invented Bing rips for nights like these. The diamond forever. Well said.
Diamond forever, buddy.
RS40, where does Holland go from this loss? I think fighting too much is not good for him. Also, who impressed you the most from the prelims? So
fighting too much is not good for anybody. you should never be this active. Basically, in the history of fighters who are this active, it's never successful. Ever. It's really hard to fight that often. Things come up bad for you. Where should Holland go? That's a really good question.
It does not matter.
Yeah, I mean, it really
There are
doesn't.
certain fighters where it does not matter who they fight.
Yeah, just put him in against somebody.
Derek Lewis is one of them.
Trying to think,
even though Derek Lewis is
who's a
fight
fun
for
up and comer at welterweight that's outside of the rankings right now?
Jake Matthews.
Honestly, that's not bad at all. I don't know if it's like the one, but it's not bad. Jake Matthews on a hell of a run.
Prach is fighting Neal.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind seeing Holland fight either of those two. Whoever loses that fight.
If somebody falls out of that fight, Kevin Holland will step in, and I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
I think Pratis would make a lot of sense in general.
Yeah, that'd be really fun.
Frankly, win or lose there.
I mean, I could see Holland. I don't love this matchmaking, but I could certainly see the UFC doing it. Maybe you throw Gabriel Bonfim in there with them or something, just to give him like a little bit of name value, perhaps. But yeah, I don't know. Again, it doesn't matter. Kevin just wants to fight people, and
yep. Is it time? Is it Buckley time?
What? Oh, to the rematch?
Yeah.
Nah.
Buckley coming off that loss?
Maybe.
Might be Buckley. I think I'm gonna say that's my Otno pick, that it's Buckley time. Which feels like a win for Holland. He gets to fight up in the rankings, but
I did, and
it's a really good opportunity for Buckley.
This could be just not that thrilling, but I actually like the way Kevin Holland thinks. He's just like, yo, I'm gonna fight this dude. Then I'm gonna beat Neil Magny in the battle of who's the better 5 fight in a year guy.
I like that.
Like the storyline.
That's solid.
Could do that. I don't know. There's lots of again, it does not matter. Kevin will probably fight in middleweight in his next fight. It would not surprise me.
Honestly, that's almost certainly what will happen. He'll fight Davis or some shit.
Back to Spencer Vittori Allen winning fight tonight. Had to be plus 10,000. Some absolute scraps tonight. 4 straight dogs, 1 on the main card. Who of them were you all most impressed by?
Wait, wasn't the last question who were we most impressed by on the undercard though?
Yeah, so we got 2 people asking back to back. So
okay. On the undercard, most impressed by
Gautier.
I mean, so like that's probably the correct answer. Because he's probably gonna be a champion. But it's also he was supposed to kill Valentine and he did. And I think he was my like number 5 ranked prospect out of Contender Series last time. Because he's 23, built like a Greek god, can grapple a little bit and hit those hammers. Yeah, I think he's gonna hold the belt one day. Like that's very projective, but he's got all the tools. I'm still gonna pick Carla Judice because I love her so much. Carla Judice is Dustin Poirier. Like she got a lot of raw talent and she's mean as shit. And I don't know if she's ever gonna actually be like good, but she's gonna fist fight the shit out of people for 10 years. Get on board right now.
Jake, thank you so much. Dustin is the man. Big super chat there. Also gifted a bunch of memberships too.
Dustin is the man. 20 and so are you, Jake. You're also the man.
Class act.
Are you from State Farm?
Could be. Would make sense.
Got that State Farm money.
RS40. I mean, we touched on the moment, but Jose and I talked about this on the Q&A. There are people on our website who, in our rankings pool, who have, at least in my opinion, incorrectly ranked certain fighters. I think Johnny Eblen is probably one of those fighters. Not saying he was bad, but there are people saying he was the best middleweight in the world, like literally in our rankings panel at one point, and I think that is absolutely redonkulous.
I don't think it's ridiculous.
I think it's ridiculous.
Mostly at that time, that was when he was also training with Sean Strickland, and no one wanted to believe Sean Strickland was the best middleweight in the world. So, because at that time, I was like, I'm willing to buy this because it can't be Sean Strickland.
But I think, you want to say Eblen at one point. I think I had him at like number 5. Maybe I had him as high as 3 at one point for that exact same reason.
Had him as high as 3 or 4
because of what the middleweight division was.
Yeah.
But what's your reaction to this? Are you shocked by this? And where does that leave Johnny Eblen? Is he going? Better question. If our fearless rankings leader, AK Lee, said, all right, middleweight shakeup, Is Johnny Eblen going to be in your rankings?
Johnny Eblen's still going to be in the rankings. He's going to be super low. He'll probably be like 14 or 15. Here's the thing. I still haven't seen the fight, so a lot of grains of salt here. This would be, it's still shocking. Don't get me wrong. This would be way more shocking, except for the fact that Eblen hasn't looked good in a really long time. Like he had the original Fabian Edwards win in a fight that he was losing before he came back to kill Fabian Edwards. And credit to him, he was losing, but he didn't. That's fist fighting. Splitty with Impa Kasanganay that a lot of people didn't think he deserved to win. And credit Impa's a good fighter, but it's not like that.
He's like a top 45 to 50.
Yeah, it's the Fabian Edwards rematch, which was just not compelling. And this is a guy who's supposed to be there. And, I like Anatoly Tokov. I thought I have a lot of respect for that win. I thought that was good.
Yeah, that was probably the last really.
Yeah, but you just start looking back and you're like, okay, he feels a little bit more like Josh Thompson used to be the guy to go to for this, where like people in the gym would be like, Josh Thompson's the best fighter in the world. You guys have no concept for it. And they'd fist fight him, like, he's good, but something's not clicking. There's a little bit of that with Eblen here. And there's just a genuine concern that his career is not going to be what maybe it could have been for one reason or another. Because he shouldn't be losing to Costello Vanstinas, who's a solid fighter. And the circumstances, Eblen probably wins an immediate rematch if they do that. But
I don't know, man.
It's tough, man. It's really if he had looked better recently, I'd be a lot more confident. But I don't know. Eblen doesn't seem to have the juice.
It just seemed like even in the Fabian fight, on the Battle of the Giants card, Eblen faded in that fight like bad.
Yeah. And
that's what happened here. That's what happened here. Like Eblen was cruising, man. It was a very middleweighty performance. And then he started to fade and Vanstinas just kind of Diaz'd it and started landing and started getting the upper hand. There's a moment heading into round 5 where Vanstinas landed some big shots and Eblen gets to the stool and he's crouched over. He's bent over before he sits on the stool. The tide had changed. It's Stockton rules. Costello Vanstinas wins this fight. Eblen might have won a 49-46 decision, but it was a fight that didn't seem that way. It seemed like if this is a schoolyard fight, Costello wins, and most people would feel the same way. But yeah, man, 2 fights in a row, Eblen just faded, just fell apart. And you would think with a guy like that, one of the things that people always said about him, his conditioning is top notch. He never gets tired. He never slows down. 2 fights in a row, man.
That doesn't seem to be true. And so it's, and there could be a lot of answers for this. Right? Somebody in the chat just posted, and this could be real. PFL's killed the motivation. And to some extent, yeah, because he hasn't gotten to be as active as I know that he has wanted to be. And how hype can you be to fight Costello Vanstinas? But also that's your job, bro. I know that that's not as exciting as maybe other things, but that's why they pay you a lot of money to be their champion. And you have to be internally motivated to sort of do this. And so I don't know. I'm not willing to throw Johnny Eblen out his first career loss.
No.
But again, this is a straight up, didn't think about it until right now. This feels like Bo Nickal' loss. Because Bo Nickal' loss was progressively more likely to happen. As he started fighting better talent, he started winning less and less and less. And then it's oh shit. Well, this happened. Where it's Eblen hasn't looked very good in recent, and now it finally caught up with him. Maybe this will re-inspire him, motivate him, something, but I'm definitely not nearly as high on Eblen as I was a couple of years ago.
Yeah, he just changed something. Obviously stay where you're at, but game plan needs to change. I don't know, man. It was just as a guy you want to see defend the belt over and over again. These types of performances aren't. He's got to do something. I don't know, but congratulations to Costello Vanstinas, the longtime teammate and training partner of Gegard Mousasi. Finally gets to wear gold
and gets the revenge. Gets the revenge for Gegard.
How about that?
Netherlands got a champion. RDR gonna be there soon.
What a time.
What a time.
Steven, biggest surprise result of the weekend from all combat events. Worst fight, Pacquiao robbed. Jake versus Usyk. Was Eblen exposed or have an off night? So I think we touched on the Eblen thing enough. Pacquiao, I can't really judge on because you didn't watch a second of it. Jake versus Usyk.
It will never.
Gives a shit.
It's a cartoon. It will never happen.
Worst fight of the weekend?
Worst fight of the weekend? I mean, I didn't see all of them. I didn't see anything on PFL, so I can't speak to that.
PFL was pretty good.
I would say worst fight of the UFC card was Pitbull Ige, and that wasn't even a bad fight. It was just I had higher expectations, and it was a professional win for Pitbull. You know, like gotta respect it. Never gonna revisit it and talk about it being great. I'll also say and this is perhaps just where the headspace I was in. The co-main event for the Usyk Dubois fight was, it was heavyweight boxing, but not good heavyweights, and so it was a tough hang.
I was gonna say it probably was from boxing.
It was a tough hang.
Yeah.
They did the same 3 things for 10 rounds, and it was bad.
Shout out to Davidson Baker. If it's who I think it is, good to hear from you, my man. Davidson Baker has the greatest moment in the history of BTL, by the way.
Okay.
Davidson, if this is the same Davidson Baker, on the old iteration of BTL, this is pre-MMA fighting. There was a fight between, God, who was it? I don't know if it was Johnny Walker and somebody else. And Davidson made this proclamation on the show that there's no way, or yeah, it was Johnny Walker and somebody else. There's no way this goes to the cards. He goes, if this goes to the cards, I will shave my head. And we decided that if it goes to the cards, you have to cut your hair like Larry David.
Nah, wow,
and he
that's
did it.
Way worse than shaving.
He did it. Did the reveal live on the show. And it was actually like the final BTL before I came to MMA Fighting. So it was a terrific moment in all of our lives. So if that's you, Davidson, you're the man. Nick, is there any other fighter you can think of that's maintained a level of hunger / fire the way Max has? He's fought like he's still chasing it.
I mean, he is still chasing it. That's
sure.
the thing. So that's not a bad question, and I'd have to think about it. I'm sure that there are, right? Like I am certain that there still are, but the reason they are is the same reason Max is still chasing it. He has been chasing it. Because Max's career is so front shifted, because he was so young when he started and he won the belt and was still fairly young, and then lost the belt before he was 30. I think he lost the belt when he was 29. It was not like okay, I lost the belt and now I'll do the retirement tour. It was like, I lost the belt and I'm still in the prime years of my career. And so he kept fighting that way because he had to keep winning fights to try and get back to the belt. And now he's never going to get the featherweight belt again, but he can still chase the lightweight belt. And so, I mean, credit to him for still being engaged. But again, I am certain Max Holloway looks at himself and says, I'm a 33-year-old man who's still one of the very best fighters in the world. I can win the belt. And so he kind of gets a benefit in that regard, where other fighters, because he is so great, his career, he could have retired at 29 and would have had a Hall of Fame career. He still has more to give.
Oh, show. Take a couple more and we're going to get out of here. Joseph, will Pitbull's win put him in the top 15 at featherweight? Yeah, it has to, obviously. Right? Because Dan Ige
is number 11, I believe. Let me confirm. Dan Ige is number 11. Pitbull will be number 11.
I don't think he will be.
Poor Bryce Mitchell will be removed from the rankings.
I think Steve Garcia will have 11 to himself.
Oh, perhaps that's true.
Pitbull will probably end up in between, probably just before David Onama.
It's very possible Steve Garcia will have 11 because he shares it with Ige.
Yeah.
He lost not a competitive or compelling fight, but he didn't get his doors blown off by Yair, who's number 3 in the ranking. So they're not going to hold that against him.
What? Another Joseph question. Will Dustin headline the Hall of Fame class next year? What fight of his will go in the fight wing? So many. There'll be a couple.
That's the thing. Like the fight wing is stupid because there are way too many good fights and they're only inducting one a year. My guess is his fight with Max 2 will be the first one inducted, but it could be Zombie, it could be Gaethje, I mean, it could be Dan Hooker, it could be Michael Chandler. Like there could be any number of them. It could be Eddie Alvarez that get inducted. And so he won't headline the class. Again, like that, but he's not supposed to. Dustin Poirier is beloved, but not great. He's great, but not great, if that makes sense. And so there will be some champion that deserves it, like if Izzy retires and gets inducted next year, if Volk retires and gets Usman, all of them would headline over him, right? Like that's theoretically John may or may not be retired. He'll get in over Poirier will get inducted. I would guess he'll get inducted next year, but it's also might not. They might wait a little bit because they don't have to. And so I would say he'll certainly be inducted. Don't know if it'll be next year. I'd say it's unlikely he'll be the sort of big name coming in.
A couple notes from the press conference.
Okay.
Aaron Brownstetter giving us some notes.
We love notes.
Dana White said he had a hard time picking the fight of the night between the three. That obviously had the best chance of it. White says he's unsure what the co-main event at 319 is. White says he loves Nate Diaz, but isn't thinking about a McGregor-Diaz trilogy right now when it comes to the White House card, and says they sell him sort of. Oh, you're going to love this.
I saw it. I'm pretty pumped.
White says that he cannot risk having John Jones fight on the White House card and have something go wrong.
Read between the lines, baby.
Oh, man.
God, you goddamn right.
He's not fighting Tom Aspinall. Okay.
Yeah, he's
not fighting him. Okay. Anything else? White says nobody left the arena following the main events. White says that the UFC always tries to find a way for fighters to be in their hometown, but the stars would have to align in order for something like tonight to take place again, which, makes sense.
Perfectly solid. Islam with a nice shout out to Dustin.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm.
Love to see that. You just love to see it. Just Bleed from Real James. Let's see. Anything else? What do we got? Do we have a... Yeah, Dustin's got to be in the Hall of Fame. He will be the guy next year.
Yeah, I saw Luke in his live chat be like debating it, and it seems I love Luke. It's very stupid. He's obviously going in. Like if this were a meritocracy, maybe like we'd question it. But if you're conceptualizing your Hall of Fame to not include someone like Dustin Poirier, I think you're just doing it wrong, right? You're being far too exclusive. Dustin Poirier is one of the is very accomplished and is deeply beloved. Like how are those are the exact people to celebrate in a Hall of Fame. Someone that telling the story of MMA the last 15 years, like you inexorably have to include his career as part of it. And so, he's not a long-time champion, but if the Hall of Fame is just the Hall of Champions, then what are we doing here,
Last question from Blood and Beer. Aside from Max, who did the most on this card for their career?
I don't think Max honestly did much for his career, so I wouldn't even pick him. It was great to win, and it's another feather in a cap full of them. But I said beforehand, I changed no opinion. Win or lose did not matter to Max here. Like it's not going to be the totality of what happens in this latter stage of his career will matter, but this one didn't do anything enormous for him other than feel good. I mean, he didn't go down 0-3 to a second person. Person who did the most for their career, you could argue Pitbull because his career gets to continue, but you could argue Loke Dog because he is now going to be moving up the rankings, get a real position. I will go ahead. Honestly, Jimmy Crute really needed to win, but I'm straight up going to go Paulo Costa.
That's a good pick.
I think Paulo Costa with a loss was probably not competing for the UFC again. He's very expensive in Contender Series, has replacements coming down the pipe. And with a win, he has set himself up to potentially fight Hamzat Chimaev next. And certainly to If he doesn't get Chimaev because Chimaev wins, he won't. DDP's gonna win. Then it's like, all right, he fights Jared Cannonier, and if he wins that fight, maybe he gets the title fight if Hamzat's champ. He is. I think he had the most to, possibly the most to lose, and gained a tremendous amount. There's a big delta.
I'll throw Islam Dulatov's name out there as well. I think a lot of people learned about him tonight and are super interested in him. So that was certainly helpful. All right, I'll end at this. If you had to guess how many pay-per-view buys UFC 318 did, what do you think?
300,000.
I think less.
I could buy that.
I'll say like 225.
I just sort of 300,000 is my sort of stock number. You know, there's some interest, but a lot of people didn't want to pay for this.
Yeah.
I'm not.
And I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. It wasn't, again, we liked it on paper.
I liked it
more
on paper.
than most.
I had a lot of fun watching it. I think if I spent $80, I would not feel like my money was spent in vain.
This is a streamer's delight.
Yeah, this is certainly not a high profile. We watched it and we're going to remember this night forever. If you're particularly attached to Dustin, you will, but I don't know beyond that.
Yeah. I mean, the way you kind of look at it is like, if you're, again, kind of like AK talked about in the previous show, if you're budgeting out your year for pay-per-views, this one probably isn't fitting the budget. Especially like you're picking DDP Hamzat over this card.
Oh yeah.
Without question. Like it's just not even close. So yeah, I think we're in the 200,000 range, which in this day and age,
that's pretty
doing 200,000 pay-per-views is pretty fucking good.
Yeah,
like that's a damn good number.
Honestly, I just wish we got to know.
Yeah. But that'd be cool if the UFC pay-per-view model moves elsewhere, perhaps.
Be great.
But yeah, but again,
it was just a nice thing to know, to have some sort of barometer of stuff, and we don't get it at all, which is lame as shit.
But again, like kind of the way I based this card on paper and just the reaction to it doesn't matter. Like it just doesn't matter. This is about Dustin Poirier, and that was it, man.
Gio, you don't have to care about those things. I do, because knowing how many pay-per-view buys it did is pretty much the only real metric we have to establish stardom in the sport, and like who do fans care about, who is drawing fan interest, and that's significant. That tells part of the story. And the Hall of Fame I care about because I don't know, it feels intuitive why people should care about the Hall of Fame, but you don't have to care about anything you don't want to, man. That's the beauty of life.
You're learning the sport now, and that's good.
You can care about anything you choose to care about.
In a couple of years, when your feet are a little more wet within the game, perhaps you'll care more about that stuff. But if you don't, that's fine. We will end with Chase.
We got one more that came in before this. I don't think it's a super chat. I think it's a member chat. It's blue. It's Nick VCC. That one.
Oh, Islam and this Max would have been awesome.
I don't believe that is true. I think Islam would kill this Max. I credit to Max his great performance. To me, Max seems pretty clearly diminished. And he's still great and can get a lot of wins. Islam Makhachev, I fundamentally believe people just have no concept for how good Islam Makhachev is, because they can't, because he isn't Habib, and because everyone was like, well, he was bad Habib, and because his career has been wonky because he hasn't gotten to fight the same sort of people. Like Ilya got to fight all these massive names, Islam didn't. Islam Makhachev is an unbelievable fist fighter, and I think that he would resoundingly defeat Max Holloway.
And then we wrap with Chase. Might have touched on it, but do you think John has a Twitter tantrum since Dana said he can't fight in front of the Orange Criminal next year?
Almost certainly.
Yes. And people eat it up, and it's brutal, and it's going to be ridiculous.
We should stop talking about the man who retired and isn't going to fight again.
Yeah.
He's
not fighting.
And he's certainly, dude, he had a Twitter tantrum today because Daniel Cormier said something about him in like a media thing because he was asked about it,
which is a very fair and legitimate question.
Yeah, and it was like kind of funny. And John was like, "The headspace I own." It's like,
oh,
he
my
didn't
God.
proffer that. Like he was just he's asked about you because your careers are inextricably linked, and also, bro, like find something new to care about. Like you won those. No one is saying you didn't, except for the commissions who say you didn't win the second one. But like we all know that you're better than him as a fist fighter. Great. It was fucking decade ago. Find something else to care about in your life other than dunking on Daniel Cormier for fist fighting. Like, it's sad, man. Like, just find happiness. Like, truly, John, seek peace somewhere that is not in the misery of others.
Yeah, man. And I have talked
Tapping he did all night.
Can we talk about that?
It's an A+ dad joke.
Can we talk about Lil Wayne and his?
It was
his
super
appearance?
weird. I don't know why he was there if he wasn't going to rap.
C-.
Yeah, that was bad. Like,
I was
mean,
disappointed.
Honestly, like, if you're gonna do that, just get like a whole host of cool New Orleans celebrities to like precede him in a parade.
Yeah, like Bill Goldberg when he retired.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of
just
them.
get all his friends and like all the locals and do that. But
yeah,
he didn't
but
do
instead
it.
it was just like, here's Lil Wayne not rapping and just part of the entourage.
Here's
with
his team
with
Oh.
Mike Thomas Brown and friggin' Albert. Like, it's like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I know the UFC doesn't like to do fun things, but they could have had him for God's sake. He would have done it.
Lazy.
For just like 30 seconds, they said he was going to transition to JB right after, which would have been badass, but that'll do it. AK and I, we will be back live in about 9.5 hours.
Ooh,
Noon Eastern, live edition of
exciting.
On to the Next One. We'll talk all about the futures of these fighters. Thank you so much. We love you guys. Have a good night.
Love y'all.